Hello from snowy Virginia. We got a little snow dusting last night, so I wanted to record this broadcast of my blog outside in the pretty snow. I thought it would look nice. Anyhow, when you see this, it'll be February, and February has Valentine's Day in it, and so Valentine's has a lot of conversation around it about relationships and love and all of that. And so my blogs this month will have to do with relationships and love and all that. I'm going to dig into this week's blog. Why? It's called Adulting 101, just like a class. Let's take Adulting 101. We're never taught it in school. Why do we do what we do? Because we think it'll make us feel a certain way. We do things, say things, go to things, and buy things because we think that in doing so, we will feel a certain way. Usually because we think we'll feel happy. We think that if we move to a bigger house, we'll be happy. We think that if we get a different job, change jobs, we'll be happier. We think if we lose weight, we'll be happy. The good news is we most likely will be happy in that new house with that new job at the lower weight. But for how long? And why will we be happier? You know why we'll be happier? We'll be happier because of our thoughts about that new house or about the new car or about the lower weight. Part of being an adult and taking Adult 101 is realizing that it's not the house, it's not the car, and it's not our lower weight that make us feel happier. It's our thoughts about the circumstances in our lives that create the feeling. The new car doesn't. The new house doesn't. The lower weight doesn't. It's our thoughts about the things happening in our life that create our feelings. The problem with all of this is that we're looking for external things to create our feeling state, which makes us feel like a passive participant in our life. Like, oh, well, I'm not happy because my house isn't big enough. Or I'm not happy because I'm in this job. Or I'm not happy because I'm this weight. No, you can be happy right now. It's your thoughts about those things. And when we're in that passive participant in our life, is that how you want? Is that what you want? It's not what I want. I lived passively for years. I was looking outside myself for happiness, blaming others and other things for my unhappiness. I felt like a walking zombie. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know that I was looking externally for happiness while I could find it right inside with my own thoughts. But my inner warrior certainly did. She was unhappy and uncomfortable. The good news? We are 100% completely and totally in charge of our thoughts. We get to choose which ones we pay attention to and which ones to ignore. This is a crucial piece of becoming an emotional adult. When we realize that we are not our feeling, but that our feelings are energy that we're experiencing, we're better equipped to manage our reactions and actions in life. It's our responsibility as adults to learn about the brain. Humans are the only species that can think about what we're thinking about. Homo sapien sapien. We think about our thoughts. If you're running around reacting to your life, thinking that the bigger house does make you happy and that you're going to be happier if you're 10 pounds less, then you might feel like a bit of an ape. There's a reason for that. You're acting like one. Yeah, sorry. You're not using your humanness to think about what you're thinking about. To step back and understand that you're feeling the way you're feeling because of the thoughts you're choosing to think is part of Adult 101. You're experiencing a feeling, but you're not that feeling. I have found that it's not that we don't want to show up for our lives or that we want to live in this ape-like state, but rather that we haven't been taught how to live differently. We've been modeled that, oh yeah, no, it is the house that makes you happy. And we're sold all the time on TV, like, oh yeah, actually, if you buy this sweater, you'll be happy. And what your real problem is that you don't have that different kind of countertop. Yeah, go get that. That'll fix it. No. Okay. We don't know how our brain works, and we haven't been taught that we are 100% in charge of our feelings. In fact, we've been programmed the opposite. It's like, Susie, why'd you make her cry? Yoo-hoo, you can't make anyone cry. You can't. It's their thoughts that create the sadness, and then they choose the action. Okay? That'd be neat if I could get in people's brains and manage their thoughts for them, but I can barely manage my own. Okay, so let's just stick in our own business. Today, let's look at the first two tools in Adulting 101. They're called Awesome Awareness and the Feelings Magnifier. Awesome awareness. If you've worked with me at all, you've heard me say everything begins with awareness. There are two pieces to this tool. The first piece is awareness of how the brain works. I was not taught in school what the different parts of my brain does, what my brain wants, and how stress affects my brain. It's time to take Adulting 101 and understand your most important organ because it impacts every millisecond of your life. Research the different parts of the brain and their functions online, or work with me, or read a book that I've linked in my blog post. It's my favorite book by my favorite neuropsychologist, Dr. Rick Hanson, called The Buddha's Brain. Very good. The second part of the awesome awareness tool is awareness of us and our thoughts. We have to slow down and become conscious in our life. What excites you? What annoys you? What are your top 3 feelings that you feel every week? This is work that I do with my clients, but with Valentine's Day coming up, you can choose to be kind to yourself and become more aware of your thoughts. Why don't you gift yourself sitting down with a journal for 10 minutes? Ask yourself, what am I feeling? And just start writing. What am I thinking to feel that? Keep writing. Do I want to feel that? What is something different I could think? Okay, just gift yourself the gift of sitting down with a pen and paper. Go to it. All right, the second tool is the feeling magnifier. Once you're more aware of how your brain works and what you're feeling, it's time to get out your magnifying glass. There are 2 pieces to this tool too. The first piece is called Name That Feeling. What are you feeling? Sadness? Disappointment? Excitement? Nervous? Label it. Name it. Put a name on it. In labeling it, we get to understand that we are just experiencing the feeling. We're not actually that feeling. You can be sad, but you're not sadness. We might be experiencing anger, but we are not that emotion. Why does this matter? It allows us to see that our reaction to what we're experiencing is in our hands. Just because we're angry doesn't mean we have to yell. Just because we're sad doesn't mean we have to cry. We are not a passive participant in our life. We get to choose our action. The second part of this feelings magnifier is called describe it. Describe your feeling. Where do you feel your feeling in your body? Again, the more descriptive you get, the better. Describe the emotion like you're describing it to an alien. An alien's like, I don't understand what feelings are. And you're like, okay, this is what sadness feels to me. Do your fingers tingle? Does your chest feel tight? Does your face get hot? Describing our experience of the emotion further allows us to separate ourselves from the physical energy of that emotion we're feeling. Yes, our face might be hot and our jaw might be clenched, but that does not mean we have to yell. Rather, that tells our brain that we are angry. Period. We get to choose what to do with that information. The crucial piece of this all is to understand that we're designed to feel all of our emotions. Happy, sad, disappointed, lonely. Sure, some are more difficult to feel than others, but when we understand that we can feel whatever comes our way, that is how we're designed as humans, we can feel any emotion, we gain confidence in ourselves and in our ability to be human. We understand it's not the car making us happy, but our thoughts about the car. It's not our coworker making us sad, but our thoughts about the coworker. It's not our husband making us angry, but our thoughts about our husband. Ooh, that one's kind of deep, huh? I hit on a raw nerve with the husband and the partner there. It's true. And once we realize that we are responsible for exactly how we feel, not our husband, not our coworker, not the house, not the car, when we realize that, we experience emotional freedom and we are moving along in that class, Adulting 101. There is nothing sweeter. Tune in to next week's pre-Valentine's Day blog where I discuss 3 tools for our relationships. It takes the knowledge gained from this week in order for us to, and joins that with these tools for us to join more connected relationships. We are not our feelings. Our thoughts create our feelings, and we choose the thoughts we focus on. All right. Have a great Valentine's Day. With Valentine's Day coming up, you might want to take a SMB program. I have one starting the Monday after Valentine's Day, 6 weeks to conscious living. And each week we deal with something else. There's more information on my website. Have a great day. Go get 'em, warriors.